due to some technical issues earlier this week, we are not releasing a snapshot for Minecraft Java Edition today, February 21st, 2024. The issues have been resolved and you can expect snapshots for 1.20.5 to resume next week, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Well, I have to say, this is the first time they've missed in weeks. And I don't like admitting that I'm wrong on things like that, but here we are. Welcome back, guys, to another exciting episode of Prediction Tuesdays, where we talk about everything going on with Minecraft. Alright, so, unfortunately, last week I was wrong about the snapshot. That is very unfortunate, and I'm sorry that I was wrong. So you guys may have noticed, before the video actually started, I read a tweet from Sly Slime talking about why there wasn't a snapshot last week. He said that there was technical issues earlier in the week, and they resolved them, but they decided to just postpone the snapshot until this week. He also said that it's possible that everything gets back on track this week, unless an unforeseen issue comes up, which would have to happen before they put out the snapshot tomorrow. And this is the kind of tweets I appreciate from the Minecraft devs giving us a heads up. Alright, so after the 1 week break, what could possibly be introduced? Last week I talked about the combat test snapshots that they were working on back during the Nether update. If you haven't seen the past Prediction Tuesdays, you need to start from the very first one and watch all the way to this one. So please go catch up if you haven't seen the past episode. And remember, Sly Slime said as long as there is no technical issues again, that there is a good chance everything will go back to normal and we will have a snapshot this week. As I said earlier, last week was the first time they had missed in weeks since the year started. Alright, so the combat snapshots that I mentioned earlier were worked on during the Nether update, and we haven't heard a single thing about them since they stopped way back in 2020. I believe that was the last time one was released. Right now is the perfect time to bring those snapshots back and put all the changes that were in them into the current snapshots. This update is supposed to be about combat, right? Aside from the trial chambers, you really haven't put anything in that changes how we fight or how we do combat. I know, the 1.9 update is the worst update ever. Guys, the whole reason the combat snapshots even existed in the first place was to try to fix 1.9 after all these years. They were made so in a future update such as the one we're in now, 1.21, they were made so they could try to address the issues with the 1.9 combat system and of course fix the issues on Bedrock, because Bedrock still has the 1.9 combat system to this day. There is still time in this update to fix the system. While there is still time, I believe they're going to focus on other things. We have to remember what Lady Agnes said. The update is themed around combat, adventure, and tinkering. I mean, the trial chambers definitely does cover the combat section. However, it would really make the players happy if we actually got some changes to how you fight. Alright, so let's talk about something that I also talked about last week. I know I am kind of going over what I said in last week's episode. Now we have to remember that we're still getting basically 1.20.5 snapshot. And the last thing that is going to probably be worked on for 1.20.5 is, of course, the wolf armor. I honestly believe that we will get the ability to dye the armor different colors and use armor trims on the armor. I just don't know when we will get it. It could be tomorrow, that would be cool. It could be next week, it could be weeks from now. But I do believe before 1.20.5 is out that we could possibly be able to dye and trim the wolf armor. So far I have made predictions for two things: changes to combat and the ability to dye and trim the wolf armor. I have one more thing to predict. You guys remember what I talked about last week, the fact that we will be getting in the future at some point before this update is out, at some point we will be getting new traps in the trial chambers. And that will also come with changes to the loot tables. Why do I believe there will be more trial chamber variants? Because a couple of weeks ago, the head developer that is in charge of the trial chambers said that he was working on more traps. As I said, before March is up and before we enter April, I believe we will have the new variants of trial chambers along with the traps. They may not come in tomorrow's snapshot, but I believe we will have them before April. So yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of Prediction Tuesdays. I know we revisited what I talked about last week. I'm talking about them again because I believe that at least 2 out of the 3 things that I've mentioned in last week's episode and in this episode will actually happen. Alright guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this Prediction Tuesday episode. If you did, then please comment, like, and subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss a video. And I will see you guys very soon. Goodbye! And remember, Bryce is always a noob.